Hey travelers, Mag here, and I'm joined by my good friend Juan, who you may remember from one of our adventures downtown Los Angeles. And today, we are having a brand new adventure. We are in, well, tell them, where are we today?
We're in Ho Chi Minh City, District 2.
Here in Vietnam. And we are gonna be walking through District 2 for the entire morning, geocaching our way through the city. Now, there's not a lot of geocaches here in Ho Chi Minh City. There's probably only about 10 to go find. And of those, I'm only looking at about 6. We've got a couple of traditionals, a couple of multis, and a couple of virtuals. And those are gonna guide us over a course of several miles, including up to the Saigon Tower observation deck, where we're intending to get a view out of the entire city. This is gonna give us an opportunity to go explore Ho Chi Minh City, see all those little details, go hang out with our good friend here, and have an adventure. So come on, let's get out there and do this. Let's go.
We begin our adventure on the outskirts of District 2, ready to make our way to the center of the city from there.
We are ready to find our first geocache in Vietnam, and this one promises to be amazing. Very first find here in Vietnam, and they said it's gonna be amazing, but I thought that was a figurative meaning. Apparently they mean that quite literally. It is an amazing geocache. And look at that. Success, baby, yeah, let's do this.
It's nearly 2 miles from the furthest outlier to the next target we are going to pursue.
With our successful cache find, we've actually decided to skip the walk and took a taxi to get over here to the Saigon Skydeck. We're gonna go ahead and catch an elevator up to the 49th floor observation deck so we can get a full view out over that city and log the virtual.
Despite this being a big tourist attraction, there's no line, so we head straight in.
Going up.
So we're going to start off on the 49th and then go to the 50th floor, and they have bars, restaurants, and observation deck.
Ooh, can't wait to see what that looks like.
The elevator makes its rapid ascent to the top, floor by floor.
When you're on an elevator that's climbing this fast, you feel that air pressure coming. We had the same thing when we did the Empire State Building last year. Oh yeah.
In seemingly no time at all, we arrived at the 49th floor by Texaco Financial Tower. When it was completed in January of 2010, this was the tallest building in Vietnam. However, it did not hold that title for very long. Just 1 year later, it was overtaken by the Kingdom Hanoi Landmark Tower in January of 2011. Nevertheless, it is still an opportunity I could not resist to rise to the top of this 861-foot tall skyscraper. It still manages to rank in as the 2nd tallest building in the city and the 4th tallest building anywhere in the country.
This is like a wish list for me right here. Right before our trip across the United States started, we went up with the MAG crew and we got to the top of the Empire State Building for the view over. But actually, the rest of these tall iconic buildings, I haven't been to the top of yet, but believe it, I'm taking notes. As I travel around the world, I want to see every single one of these things. I want to bring it to you.
From here on the 49th floor, you can see out in every direction across Ho Chi Minh City. I compare each view against the readout on my GPS, deciding what I'm going to do once I get back down to the bottom.
Nick and I are here in Ho Chi Minh City. We're here at the Saigon Skydeck, and as you can see, the view here is amazing. You can get a 360-degree view of the entire city of Saigon.
Isn't that awesome? And now that we've gotten to see the city from above, we're going to go down there on those streets and we're going to see it from street level.
And if you could look out there, that's north. That is the tallest building in Vietnam.
Too bad we can't get up to the top of that one, huh?
Over there, they're going to be developing new homes. So I actually got to go to a seminar where they're selling new homes over there, and they're actually going to have tennis courts, swimming pools, a playground for kids, an area for dogs, and also a go-kart track, and also a jogging trail. And as you can see, Vietnam has full rooftop bars. And that building over there, that gray building, I don't know if you can see it, that's the National Bank of Vietnam.
As he was pointing out the developing area, if you look right there, you can see where that road comes to 2 points with it's still green in the middle of it. So you can see they're still in process of clearing that area out and getting it ready.
That's gonna be Wynn Road, and the developing company is called Gumara. And you can still see those three, those gray buildings. They're under construction. That's one part right there. And those other buildings, that's going to be another section of the development property.
All right, let's go check this thing out from street level.
The first thing that you'll notice walking the streets of Ho Chi Minh City is that there are people everywhere. You can feel a vibrant life all around you as you push your way through the crowds on the streets.
So as we're walking around, it's very common to see people out eating on these little plastic tables and chairs. Juan was actually explaining the history behind this to me.
So before the economic reforms in the 80s, it was illegal to have your own private business. And what people would do to make extra income was they would open up restaurants or shops, and they would have these tiny tables. And when the police would come, it was more efficient and faster for them to stack these tables and these chairs and move their businesses out the way before the police could find them. So that's the history behind small tables and these tiny chairs.
And it's a cultural item that's stuck, and everywhere we go along the streets, in front of most of the cafes and markets, you see this all over the place.
And it's one of those things that once seen cannot be unseen, popping up around nearly every street corner. A huge cultural checklist item in Japan is omiyage, getting gifts for friends and families when you travel to foreign destinations. The need to shop for omiyage drives Juan and I directly into the marketplace, right in the center of District 1. No matter your tastes, there's something for everyone here.
We have found our way to the Binh Tinh Market, which is the start of a 3-stage multi and a great shopping area here in the downtown area. Now, oh, those are beautiful. Oh, I like it. So one of the cool things about shopping here is as long as it's not a big chain store, it's all on the negotiation system. So whatever price you're given up front, you should not be paying that. You should always be negotiating down by
at least 50%.
Half off of what they try and tell you from the start, and be willing to walk away, because that's how you really make the sale. So let's try and do that.
It would be easy to spend our entire day walking through the Binh Tinh Market. More than 6,000 small businesses are represented across 1,500 booths spread all across the marketplace.
We haven't found the food thing yet, but we got us some smoothies. What do you got over there? Sugarcane juice?
Pure sugarcane juice.
And I was expecting that to be sweet, and it's actually quite a mild flavor to it. And I have no idea what I'm drinking. But it's good, and that's enough for me.
It's refreshing in this hot weather, and as you can see the rooftop here, they don't have much ventilation.
No, it's definitely hot and humid, and it's more humid in here than it was walking around outside too.
Out of the marketplace, I allow the 5 stages of the Saigon Tourist Trail Adventure Lab to guide our feet from stop to stop. While this particular Adventure Lab does not offer a bonus at the end, what it does offer is 5 waypoints guiding me to locations I already want to check out around Ho Chi Minh. One of the most important of those stops for me is Independence Palace, also known as the Reunification Convention Hall. A statue of President Ho Chi Minh stands outside, waving to visitors to come visit this palace, which was ordered to be built in 1962 to replace the old palace that had been bombed out by the Vietnam Air Force. Construction of the convention hall was completed on October 31st of 1966. It served as both home and office for the chairman of the National Leadership Committee for the following 8 years.
Okay, that makes find number 3 for the morning. We found 1 traditional, 1 multi, 1 virtual, even an adventure lab stage actually, and a lot of shopping and a lot of walking, right? Juan has to go take care of business and study and do professional adult things, and so he's gonna take off for a couple hours. I'm gonna go ahead and finish his geocaches. We're gonna meet up in a few hours and see what the rest of the night has to offer. So Juan, we'll be seeing you in a bit, and let's go find some more caches. Let's go.
From where we bid farewell to Juan along the banks of the Song Saigon River, it is a couple miles out to our next target. It would be easy enough to order up a grab bike and get there in just a few short minutes, as that's the easiest way to get around the city. However, I'm not going to pass up this opportunity to walk around and see all the sights. It's not very long at all before my attention is distracted from the city to the cars on the streets. One beautiful ride after the next rolls on by me, so I'm inclined to follow them and see where they're all headed off to. And wouldn't you know it, it looks like I stumbled right into the middle of a car show.
As you can see, the car culture is happening here. They are loving this. And look out on the other side of the street over here. These are some hot little numbers right there too. Oh boy. Yeah, there is some money moving through Vietnam, and it is parked right here on the side of the street.
I carefully maneuver my way through the crowd for a closer look before I continue walking on down the road. Towers loom high above me while bikes zoom along the streets below.
I had a choice of renting a car when I came here to Vietnam. I have an international license. I, in theory, could do it. But as you can see, it's not really about cars here. Motorbikes dominate the roads. And if you're driving a car through it, you have to navigate through a mass of motorbikes swarming around you at all times. I want nothing to do with that. I'd rather walk 5-6 miles to get from target to target than have to deal with those motorbikes moving all around me. And this is a lot more fun because I get to see those little details.
When my chosen path takes me near Tao Dan Park, I can't resist taking a little detour to stroll through this green oasis in the middle of the city. Located behind Independence Palace, which we've managed to circle around throughout the course of the day, this is one of the largest parks to be found anywhere in Ho Chi Minh.
Every time I'm forced to cross a street like this, I feel like it's a matter of life or death. But the next day, Adventure Lab's across the way, so we're gonna brave the odds and do this thing. Here we go.
Quickly, I make my way across the crosswalk, knowing it affords me little protection against cars or bikes turning. I only slow down again once I am back on the sidewalk, safely behind the protection of a barrier.
One of the stages of this Adventure Lab has led me straight here to the War Remnants Museum. And as much as I want to go in and tour this place, and I do, I know that Juan wants to go tour this place as well. So, we're going to go ahead and complete this Adventure Lab stage, check in the box, and this one, we'll be seeing this spot tomorrow, so stand by to be able to see what the museum has in store for us tomorrow.
Our next geocache target brings us to a memorial for Thich Quang Duc, a Vietnamese Buddhist monk who died by self-immolation in June of 1963. His self-burning was in protest against the persecution of Buddhists by the South Vietnamese government. Pictures of the event quickly circled around the world, bringing the plight of the Buddhists to the forefront of people's thoughts.
An unexpected surprise of the best kind. Check out this wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube guy. He just wants us to come in and take a look.
And this wacky waving inflatable arm flailing tube guy is doing his job spectacularly. Without his insistent waving, I would have skipped right by this spot, which is one of the top flea markets in the city. Because as you can see, there are plenty of other distractions nearby.
It's a madhouse! A madhouse!
It is solidly a 1.5 mile walk from the Thich Quang Duc Monument to my last target of the day. I do my best to avoid crossing the street as often as possible, following the main roads and enjoying all of the sights of the city along the way. I can read and understand zero Vietnamese, so I don't know what I'm looking at for the most part, but I'm interested at all times. To me though, the unknown is all part of the fun of exploring a new city like this.
One of the things for sale here is not like the others.
Now well into District 3, we reach our final target of the day at the Vietnamese Martyrs Memorial number 3. This memorial pays tribute to the many Vietnamese soldiers and heroes who laid down their lives for the reunification of the country. Although the exact cost of human life is unknown, it is estimated that between 1 and 3 million civilians and Vietnamese soldiers were killed during the reunification efforts. In addition to that, it is thought that as many as 300,000 Cambodians, 62,000 Laotians, and 58,000 U.S. service members lost their lives during the war in Vietnam. We will undoubtedly be learning more about this during our trip to the War Remnants Museum tomorrow. What this, and the many other martyrs' monuments around Vietnam remind us, is that the cost of war is high and the need to keep peace is even higher.
And here we find ourselves at another piece of history provided to us, thank you to the geocache listening. This was the site of an assassination attempt against U.S. Secretary of Defense Robert McNamara in 1964. The plan was to set explosives on this bridge and blow up the U.S. Secretary of Defense when his envoy came through. Thankfully, the perpetrator was arrested just 3 days before the plot was set to unfold. Love getting these little pieces of history as I tour around and add my name to those logbooks.
Now that I have reached my furthest out target for the day on the outskirts of District 3, so begins the long walk back to the beginning. I choose an alternate route than that which I took to get out here.
Once again, I find myself needing to cross the street to get to where I want to go. There's a crosswalk, all right. But, oh boy. I'm not too sure I'm gonna be able to do this. I've been standing here a while. It takes a brave person to try and cross a street like this. Wish me luck.
Finally making it safely across to the other side of that very busy road, I drop in to visit the Chua Vinh Nham Pagoda. This Buddhist temple caught my eye on the way up to Justice Bridge, and I could not resist the opportunity for a closer look on my way back past it. The main pagoda, stretching up at 130 feet, 7 floors high, is a place of worship for Buddha. The rhythmic chant of the prayer can be heard from anywhere within the grounds of the temple area.
Space on the road, you just drive right down the sidewalk. It's totally safe for the pedestrians. No concern here whatsoever.
Seriously though, as the sun begins to set, the roads get busier than ever. Now is the time to watch your footing with every step along the way, whether on the edge of the road or on the sidewalk. One of the multi-caches that I've been working on since the beginning of the day started in District 1 and carried me through District 2 well into District 3 before bringing me back around again. While it was certainly a lot of walking from one stage to the next, it makes it all worthwhile when the prize is in hand and your name is added to the log.
Alright, that's it. Mission complete, GPS down. We've spent the entirety of our first day here in Vietnam geocaching in downtown Ho Chi Minh City. We were joined by Hoan for the first half of the day, where we made our way from the awesome park where we started, all the way up to the Saigon observation deck, a little bit of shopping, and then back around so he could go back and do that adulting stuff. After that, I finished up the rest of my targets for the day, and it looks like the sun is setting down on a day here in Saigon. Thank you for joining us on this tour of Ho Chi Minh City on our first day in Vietnam. I'm looking forward to bringing you even more adventure tomorrow. Make sure to like this video, subscribe, stay tuned for updates, and we'll see you out on the trails.